First of all, sorry about the late release date. My stupid self decided to start the script on the same day that I was going to make the video. So, no, it didn't work out. Today we're going to be talking about Cloverfield. Cloverfield was released in 2008 and was directed by Matt Reeves, who didn't really direct any other movies I've heard of. Apparently he's directing a 2021 film called The Batman. Now, I saw this 2 weeks ago, so if I misremember some stuff, blame me. And one more thing, this movie was produced by J.J. Abrams.
We are in the universe, planets live inside the moon, a rocket ship can go to...
The movie begins at 6 a.m. with practically silent dialogue. I didn't catch anything they said, so I think it had something to do with going on a date or something. Basically, they're on a date in New York, and they live in New York. Then it cuts to this atrocious relationship.
Yeah, I don't understand why I have to do it.
Jason is holding the camera, and he's filming his girlfriend, Lily. Jason is not a nice person, but trust me, the worst is yet to come. So they go out shopping. Exciting. And Jason doesn't want to carry the camera for his girlfriend.
Really pissed her off.
Relationship goals. So this annoying fake laugh. When they get to their apartment, or someone's apartment, he gives the camera to his brother's friend, Hud, played by T.J. Miller.
Hud, listen to me, I got a job for you.
My God, is he an annoying character? He's hanging up a sign made of pictures of people. Oh yeah, did I mention this is a surprise going away party for Jason's brother, Rob, who we later find out is Hud's best friend. Why would you be friends with this guy? He got drunk before the party even started. Either that or something seriously wrong with this dude and he should be taken to a doctor immediately. Isn't it kind of weird that my two least favorite characters to watch in movies are both played by T.J. Miller? Now, I misheard his name is Bub when I first watched this, so I'll call him that from now on. It matches his personality. Jason tells Bub to go film goodbyes for Rob, but Bub doesn't want to do it, so Jason says Marlena is going to be there. And Bub's like, fine, I guess I'll do it if I get to talk to Marlena. He goes around filming people, and this unnamed ginger person just looks at him, and he's already the best character in this entire movie. He even looks more like current-day T.J. Miller than Bub does. Bub finds Marlena, but she says she doesn't want to be filmed. But Bub is like, please, can you please do it? Promise it'll be super short, like really super short, honestly, just a short clip, just please. Then Rob shows up. Hud finds Rob and complains that they're not hanging out much. So of course Rob gives him some liquor to shut up. He also says he had a tape in there, so the camera is recording over it. And I don't know how camcorders work, or tapes work, but my mom says that that's not how it works. So that's like cutting in and out of the other tape. Bub interviews a woman named Beth, who Rob then takes outside to argue with. Bub sticks his camera out inconspicuously and immediately gets caught. 10 out of 10. Rob goes back inside and reluctantly reveals that he slept with Beth, and the date was the tape that was in the camera. Beth walks away and apparently leaves the party and goes home, goes to sleep. Rob tells his best friend, Bub, not to tell anyone, so of course he goes around telling people that Rob and Beth totally had sex together. Jason talks to Rob on the balcony, but then the power goes out and Bub complains some more, but then it cuts back to the power back on, and the news, it's on a news report and stuff. That time frame is confusing considering what Rob says later, so I don't know how long that took. I don't know about New York, but every time a tree falls over where I live, I have to wake up the next morning to see the power come back on. The news report says that an oil tanker capsized near them, so of course they go on the roof to see something. What did they expect to see? An oil tanker? An explosion happens. It looks like some of the flaming shrapnel is like right above them, but then they all somehow make it into the building and don't die. You can see in the background the shrapnel hits the building, but it doesn't explode. like in the background, the shrapnel hits other buildings, they just like explode. So it doesn't even cause any structural damage, it just makes a big dent. So they all decide to go down to the street where explosions are happening and scream to each other for a bit. Then the head of the Statue of Liberty pops in to say hi. They scream some more. Bub sees the monster and decides to be cryptic about it by saying, "It's alive." Just doesn't want to sound cool, but "It's alive" is already a quote from another very famous movie. They decide to go to the Brooklyn Bridge, where Rob gets a call from Beth. Jason gets separated from the group, and a tentacle comes up and breaks the bridge, even though the Cloverfield monster doesn't have tentacles. Was that supposed to be its tail? Jason is dead, and so is Rob's phone, so they go to the electronics store, and you see people just robbing the place. It's just me, or is now not the time to be stealing PlayStations? They try to go to Beth's apartment, but there's a battle between the military and the Cloverfield monster in the way. So, of course, they go through the battle instead of going around. And then they duck into the subway at the last moment, and suddenly it's completely silent, even though there's a giant battle and a giant monster right above them. But it's silent. They walk through the subway and see some rats. Then a giant spider jumps on top of Lily. And we later see that Marlena has like a giant bite on her back, even though the bug thing was on Lily for a long time, and most of the time. They get to a secret military base that's connected to the subway, and some military people are rolling like a body on a stretcher, and his entire stomach is missing. So I don't know how this got a PG-13 rating. Marlena dies, and they go to save Beth, who is in a giant building that is tipped over on another giant building. Lucky the other building didn't collapse, or that Beth's building that falls sideways. They walk all the way up there and somehow walk to the other building that's tipped over at like an angle. And like you can see Lily and Rob are like struggling a lot, but somehow Bub is not putting any effort at all, and he's doing that one-handed with like holding a camera. So Bub is a god. They get to Beth, who's impaled on some rebar, but there's no blood. So Beth is also a god. They were allowed to have a guy with his stomach missing, but a drop of blood is just too much. There's no blood at all. They pull her off of the rebar instead of the rebar out of her, for some reason. So they pull her off the rebar and they walk all the way back down again and get to some helicopters that are just there. And they just walk all the way to the helicopters. Something that bothered me was that when they get on the helicopters, it's the dead of night. But when they crash, it's like 7 a.m. in the morning, implying that the helicopter took more time to get on and take off than them walking up a giant building and carrying an injured person back down with them. The helicopter crashes, and now's a good time to mention that the camera never gets damaged or even gets dirt on it. Add the camera to the list of gods in this movie. Also, only Rob gets hurt, and he is not on the list of gods, but Bub and Beth are. And they get out just fine. So, maybe they are actually gods. Also, Lily is in a different helicopter, so she probably dies. Bub looks up and sees the monster just there. He picks him up with his mouth and then drops him. It doesn't eat him, he just picks him up with his mouth and drops him. Rob says it's been about 7 hours since the oil tanker capsized, which doesn't make sense, and if I tried to explain the reasons why, it would take 7 days. Then the military bombs the place, and the camera still survives, and then the movie ends.
We are in the universe, planets live inside the moon, a rocket ship can go to...
Things I liked about the movie. The movie was very fast-paced and intense, so it's hard to get bored while watching it. I really like the shots with we get of the monster. The CGI is great, but we don't get a lot of those. The poster is really cool. 7 out of 10. I think the main takeaway from this is that the Emoji Movie was a scarier horror movie.
We are in the universe, planets live inside the moon, a rocket ship can go to...
Jason tells Bub to go film goodbyes for Rob, but Bub doesn't want to do it, so Jason says Marlena is going to be there. And Bub's like, fine, I guess I'll do it if I get to talk to Marlena. Are you getting why I don't like this guy? I think I should remove that from the script.